for today is synthetic division. Now this is one method of finding factors instead of using long division or inspection, or if you don't have your calculator with you. So how synthetic division works, I'm going to explain it while doing an example. The question will be solve x when you have minus x to the power of 3 minus 2x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. The first step, and now you must make notes of all your steps. The first step is always to make sure that the equation is in descending order of exponents. So there must be a 3 and a 2 and a 1 and a 0. X to the power of 0 is 6. That's your first step. Then we need to find a factor. You can use the table in your calculator. Type that in, use alpha x for your x's, and then you search for an x value that has a y value of 0. And that would be f of 2. This you must show. You must show how you substitute the 2 into the equation or into the sum, and how you get 0 as an answer. So it will be negative 2 to the power of 3 minus 2, 2 to the power of 2 plus 5 times 2 plus 6. This will be negative 8 minus 2 to the power of 2 is 4 times 2 is 8 plus 10 plus 6. Negative 8 minus 8 is negative 16. Plus 10 is negative 6. Plus 6 is 0. Therefore, x minus 2 is a factor. When you do these sums, you must show how you substitute your factor, and you must write this sentence. Now we get to synthetic division. Okay, so step 1 is descending order. Step 2, find a factor, and then you draw your synthetic division. On the left hand side, you write this 2, the factor that I got. And inside the synthetic division, you only write your coefficients. So this will be negative 1, negative 2, 5, and 6. The next step is to write a 0 below your first coefficient. And how synthetic division works is you first go down by adding, and then you go sideways by multiplying. So you first add, and then you multiply. What do you add? You add these two. So minus 1 plus 0 is minus 1. I add it. Now I must multiply. What do you multiply? Your answer with the factor. 2 times minus 1 gives you minus 2. Now I go down again, I add minus 2 is minus 4, then multiply sideways, minus 4 times 2 is minus 8. Go down again, add 5 minus 8 is negative 3, negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Go down again, 6 minus 6 is nothing. Then you put a dot. You have to end with nothing.
And there has to be a dot at the side.
You can write a 0 or a dot, but the dot will be easier. Then you go and you write your variables. In this case, we had x. So I write my variables at the back of my answers. And then I go ascending order. 0, 1, 2. That's why I wrote a dot there, so that you don't write x next to the 0. Now what did we do here? We said x minus 2 is a factor. So I'm just going to rewrite that equation. Minus x to the power of 3 minus 2x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals 0. We saw that our first factor is x minus 2. So x minus 2 must be multiplied with this, and then you'll get that. So our next factor will be negative x squared minus 4x minus 3. Now we can take out the negative 1 here and put it in front. X squared plus 4x plus 3 equals 0. And this is a normal trinomial that you can factorize. X minus 2, 2 brackets, equals 0. Will be x times x, 3 times 1. I need to get plus 4, so it's plus 3x plus 1. We need to solve x, so I'm going to divide with a 0, minus 1 here, and then we get x minus 2, x plus 3, x plus 1 equals 0. To get your roots, or to get your factors, or to solve x, we say x minus 2 equals 0, therefore x equals 2. Or x plus 3 equals 0, therefore x equals negative 3. Or x plus 1 equals 0, therefore x equals negative 1. And there you solved a cubic function with synthetic division. Let's do another one. Yes. To get only one. You only find one root with a calculator. And then you use that factor for your synthetic division to get the other factor. And then you factorize that factor to get your 3 answers. You can't. Let's say you got negative 3. You could have used negative 3 here, then this factor will be different. Or you could have used negative 1 here, then this factor would be different. But at the end, you'll have the right answers. Okay. The other thing that I want to tell you is, if you have an equation and the highest exponent is 3, it means that you need to get 3 x values when you solve the equation. If the highest exponent is 4, you need to find 4 x's, or your answer must have 4 x's. Okay. If it's 2, you only get 2 roots. Let's do another example. Solve for x. 2x to the power of 3 plus x squared minus 13x plus 6 equals 0. What is our first step? Descending orders. Yes, they are 3, 2, 1, and 0. The next step, find a factor. Okay? I did the table on the calculator and I saw that f of 2 will give me 0. Show that it gives you 0, so it's 2 to the power of 3 times 2 plus 2 squared minus 13 times 2 plus 6. 8 times 2 is 16 plus 4 minus 26 plus 6 equals 20. Minus 26 is negative 6 plus 6 is 0. Therefore, x minus 2 is a factor. You have to write or show the substitution and you have to write your factor. Now we're going to use synthetic division to find the other big factor which you can factorize. You draw your big divide. My factor is 2. The one in brackets is written in front. Then I write the coefficients. 2, 1, negative 13, and 6. Below the first coefficient, there's always a 0. You first go down by adding, and then you go sideways by multiplying. 2 plus 0 is 2. Now I multiply. 2 times 2 is 4. Go down. 1 plus 4 is 5. Go sideways. 5 times 2 is 10. Go down. Negative 13 plus 10 is negative 3. Go sideways. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. Go down. 6 minus 6 is dot. 0. Nothing. Now you write your variable, which is an x, next to each term, and you go from right to left, ascending order, 0, 1, 2. Therefore, 2x to the power of 3 plus x squared minus 13x plus 6, which is equal to 0, can be factorized with x minus 2 and then the big bracket 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 equals 0. X minus 2 stays there, and then I factorize the big bracket. 2x squared is 2x times x. That means it's 2 times 1. Now I have to multiply the 3. 1 times 3. Cross multiply, that gives me 1. That gives me 6. And I have to end up with plus 5. So it will be positive 6 minus 1. And the minus times a plus gives me a minus. So I put the minus in the middle, plus in the middle, and there are my two brackets. 2x minus 1, x plus 3. Solve x. So x will be equal to 2, or x will be equal to a half, or x will be equal to negative 3. Who of you don't know how to get these answers from the brackets? Does everybody know? Our next example. Prove that x squared minus 3x plus 2 is a factor of x to the power of 4 plus 2x to the power of 3 minus 7x squared minus 8x plus 12. Yes. This is this one on your paper? Now before I attempt doing that one, I just want to show you something. If we have 8 times 2 equals 16. 8 is a factor of 16 and 2 is a factor of 16. But 8 can be further broken down into 2 times 4 times 2. That also gives me 16. So if 8 has 2 factors, it means that those 2 factors is also a factor of the 16. Does that make sense? Okay. That is what we're going to do here. I give you a trinomial and I ask you, is that a factor of the big one? So I'm going to break down this one into this one's factors and then test those 2 factors if they go into the big equation, or the big expression. And what must I get? 0. Alright, so let's take the trinomial x squared minus 3x plus 2. And we say, let that be equal to 0. So that I can get the factors. If you factorize, it will be x times x and 2 times 1. We have to get negative 3, so it's minus 2 minus 1.
Yes.
Therefore, x will be 2 or x will be 1. Now you say, let that be equal to 0 and let's give this one a name. And if x is equal to x to the power of 4 plus 2x to the power of 3 minus 7x squared minus 8x plus 12. Why do I give it a name? So that I can show that I'm going to substitute the x with a 2 or a 3 or a 1. Okay, are you awake? So I'm first substituting the 2. So f of 2 will be 2 to the power of 4 plus 2 times 2 to the power of 3 minus 7 times 2 to the power of 2 minus 8 times 2 plus 12. And when you work that out, you will definitely get a 0. Therefore, this x minus 2 is a factor of the big equation or the big expression. Let's test the other one, x equals 1. Substitute 1. It will be 1 to the power of 2 plus 2 times 1 to the power of 3 minus 7 times 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 12. This will also give you 0. Therefore, x minus 1 is a factor. Now, if both of them are factors of the big expression, it means that the trinomial is a factor of the big expression. Does that make sense? Okay. Therefore, if x minus 2 times x minus 1 is a factor, or all factors, of fx, then x squared minus 3x plus 2 is a factor.
Now, is it possible that only one of the brackets could be the factor?
It can be, then that means if only one of them is a factor and this one is not a factor, it means that that is not a factor. Good question. Any questions on today's lesson? Right. The homework for tomorrow. We did synthetic division today with examples 1, 2, and 3. So your homework for tomorrow is exercise 5. I'm not sure whether the English exercise is on page 23, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Number 5, A till F. And then exercise 6, number 1 to 3. Are you awake, Captain?